And we're here. We're ready to zip. I'm vk3sl, and that was the music of Delib, a piece called Pizzicato on an old, what is it, Parlophone 78 from the 1920s, late 20s perhaps. Well, it's an organ solo. Now, a little slow off the mark today, a few things juggling here, but we'll be right to go with emissions of sorts today, following on from a really special program last night. It was so good to have Alex with us, and Alex was listening all throughout lockdown, and it was not such an easy situation insofar that he didn't have any extended family with him, and he was sort of on his lonesome for extended periods, and he was listening into the missions during that time when we were casting every day. Anyhow, what we'll do is get systems in order. Frank said he might pop along a bit later. He's a busy man this afternoon, big social engagement, and I'm not around tomorrow, so we'll just do what we can today, and then we'll see how things progress. What's the other side? Vesper. I might leave that one. Here we go. Here's a Clipper Chinese disc. I'm sort of in a process of putting records up on YouTube under my main channel. At the moment, trying to find quick and dirty means to get these rarities up. There's a number of records from Asia and from Europe, recorded between the wars, and there's a huge collection actually. It's really exciting, all care of Mr. J, and so I'm keen to sort of whack as many up as possible, so I'm sort of leaving them quite open. People can just download them and re-EQ them if they wish. I'm using the iPhone and a little separate preamp of Henry's, and it seems to work okay for the purpose of just getting a quick grab. So we'll try and pursue that and get as many of these unusual records up online as possible. Here we go. Here is a Clipper Merchandising Company Hong Kong Elephant True Tone Recording. Clipper label. Never seen one before until now, so we'll stick it on the buyer and see if it clips the meter. Maybe, maybe not. I'm vk3sl. That's an unusual record, not something we hear every day, and probably something I don't want to hear every day. But here and there, it's fascinating to get a window into another time and place. Sounds sort of dramatic. I wonder if it's Chinese opera. I did have one of these records from the batch I showed to Alex last night, and Alex is Chinese. And he said that the writing on the label was Cantonese, not Mandarin, which is mostly spoken now. So he recognised that, and I played a bit, and he identified it as being traditional Peking opera. I don't know if this record was of a similar kind, but it did seem to have some interactive, dramatic element to it. It's fascinating. Find these records, and it would be great to find out more about their origin and get the backstory. We'll move over now, Rover, and we've got a Boswell disc on the SP10. These Boswell mood records are always worth a go, and there's a whole batch here, so we can play them. And what does this one say? It's the West End Celebrity Orchestra, and it's from the 5AD library. And the name of this track is called The Phantom Watch. I always enjoy a record that tells the story, but is it going to work? I think we've got... do you know what's happening? This isn't going to work. I know why too. And let's turn that off right now, because we have a problem with that cartridge. I remember now. I've done a bit of switching around here today, and I'd quite forgotten that fact, that that cartridge has a problem with RF. So I need to investigate have to ground the inside, the shell of the cartridge, and I don't think I've done that with that one, so sorry about that. We will change turntables back to the buyer. Another crack at this, the Phantom Watch with the West End Celebrity Orchestra on the Bosworth disc. Oh, it's one of those records that has to be wrestled onto the platter. We'll get there, folks. We are slowly moving forward. Needle on the platter, record on the platter, needle in the groove. Switch in the right turntable, up with a fader, and we should be in business. Fingers crossed. Not yet. Wrong one. Take two. go. That was mood music from the 1930s or early 40s, I imagine. Some of Bosworth record, English. And well, I think that, whoops, I can't wrestle that one off. I'll wrestle it off later. It's a bit too tight. But anyhow, we had I think it was the London Promenade Orchestra or Concert Orchestra or something. And there's quite a lot of mood music discs here, all of interest. This one is a Macquarie record, produced by Boozy and Hawkes, another flexi disc. And it features the Regent Concert Orchestra, directed by William Hodgson. Two sides, we've got the Tribunal and the Passionata. And on side B, Dramatic Finale and Song of the Machine. I do like the idea of that. Song of the Machine could be music concrete, perhaps. I wonder. So let's check it out. Macquarie, Boozy and Hawkes. And I'm vk3sl. And we're testing and we're trying out yet another system here. So we'll see if this stylus works. It's a bit hummy, isn't it? But we're sort of there. Okay, well, we got through that, notwithstanding humbuckles in the system. And I'll have to investigate. Yeah, I haven't properly tested systems. What's the problem? As soon as I move things around, all the variables change, and yeah, we have to sort of comprehensively test. That's professionalism. But this is not a professional station. This is an amateur operation, and we are testing, of course, so that's sort of the name of the game. But I will sort of persevere with that. Since Frank's not with us, I'm going to check out what's going on. And while doing so, I have here a Department of Navy, United States of America, stand by for music, it says. It's a 16-inch vinyl transcription record featuring the Modernaires, Buzz Adlam and his orchestra, program number 41. So let's get the clutch in action on the buyer and change this to 33, and we'll persevere with this for 10 minutes or so when I'll try and find out what's going on. So here we have it in the groove. This should work. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, folks. Hopefully we are in business.
From Hollywood, California, the United States Navy presents, for your listening pleasure, Stand By for Music. The United States Navy invites you to Stand By for Music with George Cates and his orchestra, yours truly, High Averback, and the top singing stars of this nation. And now, here they are, those ever-popular stars of recordings, radio, and television, the Modern Airs, opening the show with birds, puppies, and tropical fish.
Birds and puppies and tropical fish. Hole, hole. Find that living is simply delish. Hole, hole. Eat and sleeping as much as they wish. Birds and puppies and tropical fish. Oh, ain't it the truth? Ain't it the doggone truth?
Senorita, do you like little birdies? Gee, they sure are lucky. Birdies never worry when the weather's cold and clammy. They just take one look and then they fly down to Miami.
Oh, birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole.
Find that living is simply delish.
Hole, hole.
Eat and sleeping as much as they wish. Birds and puppies and tropical fish. Oh, ain't it the truth? Ain't it the doggone truth?
Senorita, do you like little puppies? See, but they sometimes have bad manners. Puppies run and bark and play. They never mind a scolding. Never worry day to day, but they have no withholding.
Oh, birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole.
Find that living is simply delish.
Hole, hole.
Eat and sleeping as much as they wish. Birds and puppies and tropical fish. Oh, ain't it the truth? Ain't it the doggone truth?
Senorita, do you like tropical fish? See, but they sure are difficult to cook. Little fishies carry tails, but don't have much to say. Even with their built-in scales, they won't tell what they weigh.
Oh, birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole.
Find that living is simply delish.
Hole, hole.
Eat and sleeping as much as they wish. Birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole.
Birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Ho, ho, hole.
Birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole.
Birds and puppies and tropical fish.
Hole, hole. They sure are lucky.
See, see.
Modern Airs, that was great. A fine rendition. While you get ready for your next song, I'd like to give our audience an important message from our Navy. NAVCAD. That spells NAVCAD, and it means Naval Aviation Cadet. But to you young men with 2 years of college, it also spells opportunity. It means that you can receive pilot training and wear the Naval Aviator's wings of gold as a commissioned officer in the Navy. If you are under 25, have completed 2 full years of college, and are unmarried, you may be accepted for the finest pilot training in the world at the Navy's Annapolis of the Air in Pensacola, Florida. Any Naval Air Reserve activity or U.S. Navy recruiting station can tell you about NAVCAD. And now the Modern Airs return with an all-time favorite, Mood Indigo. Thank you, Modernaires, and welcome back to Stand By for Music.
We're glad to be here, Hi, for this Stand By for Music United States Navy program show.
By the way, Paula, what have the Modernaires been doing lately?
Well, that's hard to say, Hi. We appear on radio, television, in nightclub spots, and of course we make lots of recordings with George Cates and his orchestra.
You certainly are busy.
Right you are, Hi. Birds and Puppies and Tropical Fish and Mood Indigo were two of our recent recordings. We like to work with George.
I can understand. He has a great orchestra. Well, while you and the Modernaires sit this one out, let's call on George Cates and his orchestra in one of their fine arrangements of Carmen Boogie. Thank you, George Cates. That was tops. It shows a lot of musical planning. But speaking of planning, when it comes to planning, if you are a young man with 2 years of college, plan now to become a naval aviator. Yes, at this very minute, the Navy has openings for 2-year college men who are unmarried, under 25, and who want to wear wings of gold as commissioned officers in the Navy. Awaiting you is training as an officer and pilot at the Navy's Annapolis of the Air in Pensacola, Florida. Make up your mind now to step up to your future by asking about NAVCAD at any Naval Air Reserve activity or U.S. Navy recruiting station. Now, back with us again, the Modernaires in Teach Me Tonight.
Teach me. Teach me. Teach me, teach me, teach me tonight.
Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn, since this is the perfect spot to learn.
Teach me tonight.
Starting with the ABC. a shooting star goes by,
she'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky.
one thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love.
Teach me tonight. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love?
Graduation's almost here, my love. Please, my love.
Teach me. Teach me.
Well, it's time to say so long. You've been listening to George Cates and his orchestra, and to our special guests, the Modernaires. This has been a Vanna production, brought to you transcribed by the United States Navy Recruiting Service. This is Hy Averback inviting you again to stand by for music, when you will hear other well-known stars such as Nat King Cole, Gary Crosby, Peggy Lee, the Rhythmaires, and the Starlighters. And remember, if you're an unmarried man with 2 years of college, you may be eligible to become a naval aviator and wear Navy wings of gold.
Right, there we go. That was a transcription disc, actually, a 16-inch vinyl. Played very nicely, I have to say. We had very good copy of that Department of Navy disc. And on the bar turntable, very authentic experience. And we are just riffing. That's what we do. We just play records and riff and discover, and there's lots and lots of new discs here to delve into. And I'm vk3sl, and for those who are uninitiated, we've been doing this for quite a few years, since about 2016, 17, thereabouts, and we just inhabit the space and test systems and test our knowledge and self-educate. It's all of that, and usually Frank's joining me for these test missions. He's a busy man today, and we won't be doing it tomorrow, though. I've got a concert tomorrow, heading into town to hear the Conservatorium Orchestra play, and next week we'll be back with our usual thing, all being well. So, continuing on our journey, we have an ARC transcription, another vinyl transcription, this time a 12-inch record featuring the Colgate Palmolive Orchestra from Sydney. And what's the name of the track? Walter Winchell Rumba. So I think I've sorted that cartridge problem. I'm hoping I have. So we'll just check it out. Incidental music recorded in Sydney. I didn't realise they had such a high output, that cartridge. Whoa, that's peaking. It certainly is. Gosh, just turn down the levels, please. Okay. Well, you discover as you go. Now, I'm going to go back. I'm using two turntables I don't usually use because I've been allying things for this new copying venture. And it's been, pretty good. I'll just put another one up just then. I've been dubbing off this afternoon in and out. It's just one quick capture moment and then straight on to YT. It's really straightforward using the phone. It's all sort of designed that way so people can get their 5 minutes of fame. But I feel it's necessary to put these records up and people can do what they like with them. I think that some of it is not in the public domain, so I'm contributing somehow to the conversation. Next one is a chapel disc, more mood music, and it's a vinyl pressing from Britain, and it features Sydney Torch and his orchestra. Always worth a listen, and I think we're in business, and the name of the track is Ooh La La. Yay! Sydney Torch and the band, some light muzak from the 50s on a chapel disc. Oh, that was interesting. I just have to make sure I don't touch the pickup arm because RF goes through my body into the system. It's all about grounding and earthing and finding its sort of balance. We know all that. Here we go. Side B is another recording of the Queen's Hall Light Orchestra, conducted by Charles Williams, this side. The other side was, Ooh La La was written by Sydney Torch, but it was the Queen's Hall Light Orchestra with Charles Williams. Sorry, I'll get that right. And these are chapel discs recorded in 50 New Bond Street, London. I want to hear this side because it's got an evocative title. So we'll just cue it up. The name of this one is Space Ride. And I reckon it'll take us somewhere. Let's hope it's the right place. I'm vk3sl. Test missions. Right, there we have some more mood music from the 50s, a chapel disc in fact. And discovering all sorts of things in these boxes of discs, including one here. It says cutter overloaded 15 volts. Okay, it's a Royce recording disc. 9 volts off air, it says on the side. Goodness gracious me, what is this about? Could be anything. Could be junk. Who knows? It's prepared by Playback Disc Manufacturers, Post Office Box 5041, GPO Melbourne, and it has a obligatory stroboscope on the label. Royce recording disc. All right. Oh, I can smell the vinegar. This is probably not going to last that long. We'll find out what happens. Shall we play the 9 volts or the cutter overloaded 15 volts? It's a test record, but it suits our purposes well. So let's find out. It could be interesting. It may not. Something's going on here. We might need a coin. Yeah, we're having tracking problems with this. Getting something out of it. Off air. Yeah, I've loaded up the head shoulder to try and get some get things
Sugar
oh, yeah.
with clients, and gentlemen's hairdressing. Sugar, thank you for your patronage in the past.
Okay. There is some content there. I'm going to try it on the other turntable with the other stylus. Let me see, inspect the grooves. I've got a groove microscope here. Maybe I could use that. No, it's not going to work. Okay. Oh, yes, I can see there's damage. Well, we can try it on the system, see if it's any... this stylus has got more compliance, and maybe that will make a difference. And I'm interested to hear what they said in the middle of that record. Could be something of interest, maybe. We'll find out. And I'm switching now to the buyer.
Sugars wish their clients, both the ladies and gentlemen's hairdressing, the compliments of the season. Sugars, thank you for your patronage in the past.
Is that all there is? And that's where it finishes. Definitely a test record. There's information to that effect on the label, telling us about the cutter, 9 volts off air, it says. The other side, cutter overloaded at 15 volts, but off air, little snapshots off the dial. It's fascinating. All right, well, I'd like to know who that announcer was and what the program. It sounded like Sentimental Journey, but it would have been pre-John West. Definitely. All right, well, here we go. Here's the other side. 15 volts, overloaded. Oh dear, oh dear. I was really hoping to get some insight into who was playing on that. That's all J.S. Bach, of course. And I was hoping we'd get an announcement there. I was putting up with all of the 15-volt overload, a test acetate. Obviously, someone's testing their cutter, their Royce cutter. And yes, and it's well articulated on the label. It says cutter overloaded 15 volts. We know that now. And off air. So gracious, goodness me. What was it? Who was it? What's the story? We just don't know. Anyhow, fascinating stuff. There's so many of these records. I was just riffing through the pile. A lot of racing discs. So your racing carnivals are well represented here, but I don't think I want to play them. There's a couple of boxing matches, which could be sort of weird and wonderful. Maybe I'll dial those up at some point. But a lot of sort of local recordings, quite a few home recordings as well, it seems. And a reasonable amount of broadcast material, including this one.
For better food protection, you can depend on Frigidaire. Why, it's the best refrigerator that you'll ever find anywhere. Everywhere, Frigidaire waits for your inspection.
So stop and ask your dealer to show you Frigidaire. For better food protection, depend on Frigidaire, the best refrigerator that you'll find anywhere.
Everywhere, Frigidaire waits for your inspection.
So stop and ask your dealer to show you Frigidaire.
Okay, there we have it. That's probably the Bell Band or Frank Johnson or someone. Although it's a Macquarie issue, maybe made in Sydney. But yeah, there's quite a few Frigidaire commercials here. All good fun. Okay, riffing, looking through the box of records. In fact, multiple boxes of records. There's heaps here. All new material, and where to start, where to go. Lucky Dips, I think, is the only way to do it. And we have here Dance of the Ostros something Imp. And the label's been has been removed off this record. It's a vinyl pressing from the 50s probably, but someone has put a little sticky label on saying Dance of the Ostrogs something or other Imp. That's all it says. I can't make sense of that. I'm just guessing, so we'll have to play it, find out if there's more information. I expect it's a mood record from the 50s, being a vinyl 78 pressing. So we'll just have to do the proverbial needle drop and find out what is going on. I'm vk3sl and we are testing. refer that record to my bassoon-playing friends. Yes, something about the imp. It's been scribbled on the label, and I can't read it. In fact, the original label is missing off that disc. So, yeah, we only have a little paste on to go by with that record. Now, this is fun. I'm enjoying Lucky Dips, and we've got boxes everywhere, and I'm just pulling them out at random. I've just got to remember to put them in the right box because they're sort of kind. This one's interesting, from 5cl. To my best knowledge, the speakers I have in the house came from 5cl. I think they did. The Type 3s that we have in the family room are X5cl. And also, in the back of my mind, I have the thought that a lot of 3CR, the first generation of 3CR, used a lot of broadcast equipment from 5cl, which would mean that some of the stuff I have in here might be also from that source. Incidental. But the record I have in my hand is marked 5AN 5CL 5CK as well. Okay. But what's interesting for me is that it's got stamps all over it. Each time this record was used, and this is the right cover for the right record, which is a bit of a, it's not always a given. And here we have, it was played on the 16th of April 1958, the 30th of April 1958, 27th of May 58, 3rd of January 50, June 58. It just goes on and on. There's about 50, maybe 100 stamps. This record was played continuously. And I wonder if it may have been used as a theme track for a particular program, perhaps, or something, because it's every week. And it's every time they've played it, they've stamped it. So they must have had a little stamping pad in the booth, or maybe the secretary outside did. Yes, it looks like a well-worn record, and that's testified by the number of stamps on the cover. Well, the record in question is Paul Lombard and his orchestra with Ross Higgins singing, and it's Arthur Benjamin's Jamaican Rumba. So here we go. This is the original 5cl version. Played multiple times, probably used as theme music for something way back when. I'm vk3sl.
It's like the hazy, lazy stirring of a warm, scented breeze, humming of bees, swaying of trees. It has a scintillating restlessness of turbulent seas. That's the Jamaican rumba. It has the flare and fascination of a torchlight parade, sharp as a blade, subtle as jade. It has the warm, romantic flavor of a love serenade. That's the Jamaican rumba. Sultry as tropic heat, jungle beat, fiercely sweet. Those maracas there, spreading magic everywhere. It has a most exciting rhythm that is hard to explain. Goes to your brain just like champagne until you find your feet are dancing to a haunting refrain. That's the Jamaican rumba. has a most exciting rhythm that is hard to explain. Goes to your brain, just like champagne, until you find your feet are dancing to a haunting refrain. That's the Jamaican rumba. The Jamaican rumba. The Jamaican rumba.
Mr. Lombard and the band. Hey, that was really worth a listen. I enjoyed that. Good, solid Australian nostalgia. Jamaican rubbing. Well, it's not really Australian. Well, it is. Paul Lombard was Australian, I think. And, yeah, and Jamaican rumba is not. So I'm going to put that record back in its correct cover because there is a problem in this room of covers migrating. And I think that's quite a story when you see all those stamps, and this record was obviously really well received. Another lucky dip pulls out another acetate. Blank on one side, and on the other side, no label. Could be anything. Probably nothing amazing, but who knows? Who knows? I'm going to play this EMI disc, made in Great Britain. Distributing organisation, EMI Sales and Services, it says, but no other information. Nothing scratched on the middle or on the side or anything. It is just a complete unknown. So I'm going to slap it on, take a deep breath, and we'll just find out in situ what is going on. This disc, I'm vk3sl.
The Bob gave man an arm of iron, so he could do his job and never shirk. The Lord above gave man an arm of iron, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, someone else will do the blinking work. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you'll never work. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, to see if man could turn away from sin. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, when temptation comes you'll give right in. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck you'll give right in. Oh, you can walk the straight and narrow, but with a little bit of luck you'll run amok. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, to share his nest and see his food is cooked. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, you can have it all and not get hooked. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you won't get hooked. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming on. The Lord above made man to help his neighbour, no matter where, on land or sea or foam. The Lord above made man to help his neighbour, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, when he comes around you won't be home. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit, of luck you won't be home. They're always throwing goodness at you, but with a little bit of luck a man can duck. Oh, it's a crime for man to go philandering and fill his wife's poor heart with grief and doubt. Oh, it's a crime for man to go philandering, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, you can see the bloodhound don't find out. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit, your luck she won't find out. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming luck. A man was made to help support his children, which is the right and proper thing to do. A man was made to help support his children, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, they'll go out and start to playing you. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit, the luck they'll work for you. He doesn't have a tuppence in his pocket, the poorest man you'll ever hope to meet. He doesn't have a tuppence in his pocket. With a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, he'll be moving up the waving street. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit, the luck will do it up. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of moving along.
Well, we all know what that was. Stanley Holloway, of course, and My Fair Lady, the original production back in 56, was it? Yeah, I've got Stanley Holloway's name on my wall. In fact, in big print. Many years ago, when I was a student, one of my music professors knew that I was interested in all this stuff, and he spent a lot of time in London. He's very involved in the London scene, and he used to go to the West End and give me wonderful gifts. He was very generous, really generous. He used to give me great prints, particularly sort of antiquarian prints and things of musicians. And he gave me a theatre poster from 1939. It's on the wall here. It's one of the only things that I've got room for on the wall, because the walls in this booth are really banked up in a rather major way. But there's a tiny bit of a sneak space, and I do have this Oxford Circus London Palladium poster from 1939. And the big feature is Stanley Holloway, and also Mr. Ukulele Man, George Formby, and a picture of George Formby as well. And that was the motivation, because we used to talk about George Formby back then. And so, yeah, there you have it. Stanley Holloway looking over me in name. And we just heard him on that EMI transcription record. Okay, here we go. Another one from the pile. This is Australian fare from about 1930. It's actually interesting. And if Frank's not with us, I will put this record aside and play it again, because I would it'd be interesting to have his opinion on this. This is a Depressions record. It features Beryl Newell playing the piano, and Des Tooley, who she sang with Beryl on many occasions. This recording made by Columbia in Sydney back in at that time. So it's quite sort of poignant, you know. We're sort of in the Depression's time, and the name of the track is Cheer Up, Good Times Are Coming. So we'll slap this one onto the bar to reach forward to do that. And all we have to do is just get this in gear and, yes, see what you think. And we'll definitely hear this again in due course.
Be carefree and start a humming, then all your troubles will clear up. Soon brighter days will be found. Give all your cares to run around. Just yell and tell the world you're happy. Good times are coming, so cheer up.
Yeah, some dynamic piano playing there from Beryl Newell, and Des Tooley sang the vocals. A rather interesting record, which I'm going to keep aside because I'd like to share that one with Frank. And on a parlophone from recorded in Sydney. Parlophone, of course, a derivative of Columbia Records, and that record characteristically features a stroboscope around the label. So, more Australiana, Fred. Who is it? Oh, yes, it's Fred McIntosh and his orchestra, also from Sydney, about 2 decades later, decade and a half later from the recording we just heard, and it's called Pardon Me, Miss Australia. So, yeah, playing our Australian content today. Seems to be quite a lot of Australian records in this box.
Fair dinkum, and I say okay, when everything is lovely and life is bright and gay. You say it's bonza, and I say it's great. Why don't we get together before it is too late? Every time I say you betcha, that's when you say to right. If your ma and pa will let you, we'll go stepping out tonight. Then you may say good-oh, but one thing is true. I'll bet my life when you're my wife, we'll both say I love you.
McIntosh and his orchestra, recorded in Sydney back in the 40s. It's quintessentially Australian, with all that vernacular there. And on a Regal Zonophone 78. 78's direct to air today. We haven't even used YouTube at all. Virtually not. No. And although I might do that now because there's some interesting material that popped up today, and I should exploit it while it's sort of there. We'll find out if we can line things up. Is our system still in order? Recordings of Kay Kaiser and his orchestra, and really remarkable uploads by Mr. Prozoot, who has a great ear for equalisation. Don't know how he does it, but I think he has pristine copies of these records and is able to sort of make them come alive in a way that I rarely hear. So that's my unqualified opinion, but I would like to, perhaps I'll finish with that now, because I'm looking at the clock. And, well, sort of getting to the top of the hour, isn't it? If we keep going with this, maybe I can play one... No. We'll play this now. I could just keep going forever, these lucky dips. There's so many records here. And these are courtesy of Mr. J, who very kindly dropped off crates of 78s on the doorstep. But I've got to absorb them. I've got to find a way to contain them, because at present they're in stacked boxes. And there's not a lot of room to move in here. In fact, you can barely see the carpet. But we'll cope, because I am more than happy to have more source material, more missions fodder. So, just a quick word about where we're heading. No missions tomorrow. You should be okay next weekend. I'm looking forward to catching up with Frank. Next weekend we'll do something special, and I refer people to the log of last week's program. We're back on YouTube, by the way, so if you look up my call sign on YouTube, vk3sl, you'll find that there's a station on YouTube with a huge log of programs. There's probably close to 1,000 programs there, going back into lock time era, and then there's other archives with programs from earlier times as well. But YouTube archive is quite comprehensive if anyone really feels that pathological. And so that's where we store things on YouTube and the Internet Archive. But last night's program was really special. When I have a guest on, it's something I hold close, and we had Alex Lou come in last night, and he's a cellist, and he was listening to our programs a lot during lockdown when he was all about a teenager and living on his own. His parents were overseas, and it was something that he communicated quite a bit with me at that time. As a friend of my son Henry's as well. So anyhow, he came in and did a program last night talking about his studies, and he's about to head overseas to America to do postgrad studies, and he's really surfing on the high wave. It's incredibly exciting. So it's really worth a listen to that program, because I just in awe of his talent and his dedication to the cause. He's a very dedicated musician with so much reserve, and I think the world is his oyster. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to finish up today with the music of Kay Kaiser's orchestra, recordings of 1929 to about 1933-34, courtesy of Prozoot, and I encourage people to check out his channel on YouTube, because there's so much interesting material there. But we'll follow on with this to wind up today. So thanks, folks. Look forward to your company next week. I'm vk3sl. Until soon.
That collegiate Fanny on the phone. Listen, honey, to my moan. You had better be alone, sweetheart. No more bashfulness for me since I found this recipe. College love's a thing for me, sweetheart. You have a way of campus petting that's to perfection. So in a moment I'll be going in your direction. Where's my slicker? All aboard. Be that quicker than a Ford. Collegiate Fanny, you're the one for me. Just tell her beneath the moonlight. Tell her when the skies are blue. Don't wait for some sweet June night. Why, any old moonlight will do. And then you tell her that she is prancing while glancing at her eyes so blue. Why, tell her that you love her, then she'll tell the same to you.
troubled road. Seems like heaven has doubled my load. Dreary, weary, and blue. What's there left to do? Why do I try to go on? Everything's all wrong. It's raining
pink if I don't think I'm falling in love. Strike me blue if I don't think it's you. Now strike me brown if you're not down from heaven above. Or strike me green if I don't mean it too. Now I was shy, a bit of oh my, but now I feel free. There's no doubt you're gonna bring out the Tarzan in me. Or strike me pink if I don't think I'm falling in love. Or strike me blue if I don't think it's you.
Kay Kaiser and his novelty band in the stirring Rise and Shine.
Dancing in the moonlight, underneath the stars, singing little love songs to my baby. Dancing in the moonlight, sighing little sighs, looking for the love light right in my baby's eyes. Dancing in a corner, steal a little kiss, get a little closer to my baby. Give a boy a June night, give a girl a song. They'll be dancing in the moonlight all night long. Having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Now we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Blow it, boy, blow it.
Hey, Sully, just a minute. What's the idea of not singing the lyrics to this tune? Explain yourself.
Listen, boy, listen. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The lyrics restricted, we'll all be evicted if we sing the words to heat waves.